Saw the money and got activated. Saw the money and got activated. Saw that money and got activated. I saw that money and got activated. Canada Goose. Keep me wearing my cold city. I got a pole with me. Glock cost 450.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're wondering why I have a giant smile on my face, which I probably always do when I start out videos, because I don't know why, but we just got the rear cab bolt out. I wish I got it on camera. So basically, let me find the bolt. I just pulled it out. I literally was like cheering for happiness. Like, I was so geeked that I got it out. I don't know what I'd do with it though. Oh, it's right here. So this thing was so seized in the cab. So basically, I tried to spin them, and the socket I was using was, I think, this 30 millimeter, and it was enough to like fit on it, but it would like ended up like rounding out, and so that wasn't an option anymore. So finally, I went and bought the correct size socket, which is a 1 1/8, I'm pretty sure, and I had to literally put these two breaker bars together, and it spun free. And once it spun free, I was pretty convinced that it would just come right out, but it actually just ended up spinning the whole bushing. But it must have helped some, because I got on here with the hammer, the electric hammer, didn't really do much, and I started whacking it with that hammer a couple good times, and it came right out. So I already broke that side free, and hopefully it comes out just as easy. And if that's the case, then we can definitely get the cab body lift on, and then we might try to get the core support body lift on, and then the bed, there's really no reason for us to put the body lift on the bed quite yet. I might do it just for test, like just to see how tall it's gonna sit, but the bed's gonna have to get unbolted and slid back for us to get to the back side of the cab regardless. So not sure we'll get to that part of it, but yeah. And another thing we might run into is, everyone says you have to cut down, or you have to extend your steering linkage. I'm just gonna lift the cab up and see if it gets hung up and go from there. I would imagine it would, because you're literally lifting the cab 3 inches higher, but I guess you never know. So hopefully this bolt comes out. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We're gonna work on that now, and I'll catch up to you guys in a second. Okay, so I probably should have done this quite a while ago, so don't hate me for this. I just didn't think it was really going to do much. So this rear bolt was not budging, and so we just put a ton of heat in it with a torch, and literally we barely tapped it and it came loose. I probably should have did that like a week ago, honestly. But now I know. Now I know. So I did forget that the outer edge of the cab mount, like the actual L bracket mount, is like, it rusted off because all the dirt and stuff held up under those bushings. So I have to remake a mount for it. So we're gonna put the body lift on just for like testing purposes, and the rear pucks will have to come back out, and so I can make that custom mount. Probably won't get to that tonight, because that's probably gonna take like a whole day, but definitely want to get the cab body lift on and just see how tall it's gonna be. Okay guys, so we got the front body lift on. I don't know if camera will do it justice, and obviously not having any body panels on, but this thing is gonna be pretty tall. So the hood alone is gonna sit right about my neck. So it's gonna sit right to about up here on just the hood. Now we are using old crappy bushings, and it's causing the truck to be taller in some areas because some of them are wore out more than one. So like, to this body line off the ground is 36 inches, and to that body line off the ground is like 34. So I gotta figure out something to do with body mounts or bushings. I really don't want to buy a whole bushing kit. That's kind of stupid to me. So if anyone has any like maybe a way to like make some homemade, or like just something I can put there instead. Just because with those plastic bushings, the truck's not going to ride the same as it did before regardless. So I really don't want to spend a bunch of money on some stupid cab bushings. I know that sounds dumb, but I don't know. If you guys know any tips or tricks to kind of make something to put there, or any ideas of what I could do, I guess comment below and let me know. But this thing is gonna be tall. Obviously I'm gonna customize the brackets to bring the bumper up. I think once we bring that bumper up to height, it'll really show how much taller this thing is. I mean, it's just ridiculous how much taller it is. So I really should have measured how far the bumper was before, because now I don't really know where to put it, like if it's gonna be too high or what. I guess I could throw the grill on it and kind of judge it by that, but I'm so excited for this thing to be a little bit taller so we can clear the tires a little better. And I think it'll aesthetically look a little bit, trust me, I like low stuff. Like, I'm not really a big lifted truck guy, but I think this body lift will really help this truck out, especially with, I want to run these tires and wheels regardless, but you can't turn. And I'm not going to solid axle swap it this year because it's just too much work that I'm willing to do. And for this thing to be an actual good tow pig, I have to have turning radius. I can't have a truck that rubs and hardly turns when I'm trying to haul a trailer around. So that's kind of the whole purpose in this, but I'm starting to get super excited. We just got to get our heights figured out, our height and stuff, and then get those cab mounts fixed. Okay, so as I was saying, it's kind of hard to tell in pictures, but I just threw a fender on it, and dude, oh, I am fired up to get this thing done now. After, like, it looks so good. Like, it really just looks so good. Like, I don't even want to show you guys because it looks so good. Like, oh my god, I cannot wait to finish this truck. Guys, it looks so much better just being 3 inches taller. I don't know why. I don't know if it just looks meaner or like what the deal is, but dude, it looks so good. Like, I don't know if camera's gonna really do it justice, but look how much meaner it looks. It's so much taller. Like, look how much. We should be able to clear those tires. If we can't, I'm not even gonna bother buying fenders because they're just gonna get destroyed. If we cannot clear these tires, I'm literally not buying fenders. There's no point, because these are just gonna, the new ones are just gonna get just as destroyed. So like, if we can't clear them, we're just gonna trim the crap out of them and roll with it, because I refuse to buy a whole nother set of fenders and then just bend them up. So I might try and see if I can steer this thing to full lock and see if it hits or not. Another thing is, the heater core valve, when I was jacking the cab up, literally snapped clean off. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I don't know if I need that or not. I'm not 100% sure. But the one thing I will say is weird is how the engine sits so far down. I'm really not a fan of it, but it is what it is, I guess. Another thing to keep in mind is if you have a hood stack, that might need lengthened. The steering, whatchamacallit, linkage is reaching just fine. I'm not sure if, yeah, I mean, I don't know really how to tell if it's not, I mean, the cab lifted all the way up, so I don't see why it wouldn't be reaching. That maybe that's why this, I don't know, that's very strange to me. Everyone said that you have to have that, so I don't know. But yeah, I am geeked right now. So I think I'm gonna try to jack the front of the truck up real quick and steer these wheels to full lock and see if they rub or not. I'm kind of curious. So obviously, you know, it's not completely fitted up perfectly, but it's pretty much where they need to be. This fender needs to come back some, it looks like. Or no, the door might sit right there. But yeah, so I'm curious to see. I'm gonna try real quick. Okay, so that's full lock. It doesn't hit, but I feel like if this fender wasn't bent, it would definitely hit. on like a factory fender. Another thing to take note of is this also would sit out about that far, so hitting a bump and going downhill, it would probably, like hitting a bump and turning at the same time, it would probably definitely catch right there. And this is with a fender that's pretty bent right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that full factory fender is probably gonna be gonna have to be trimmed, which I'm fine with trimming new fenders. My problem is I don't want to get a new set of fenders and just kind of cut them where I think they need to be, and then they rub and bend up. So I'm probably gonna use these as test trial fenders. I'll probably wrap these the color of the truck and everything, because it won't cost that much extra to wrap an extra set of fenders. Run these for like a month, drive the truck, see how it rubs, see where it hits and stuff, and then the new set of the fenders, I'll already kind of know. The fenders aren't in bad shape, they're just really beat up from the tires rubbing, so that's why I wanted to replace them. Like aesthetically, looking at it right now, you don't really see it. I just don't want people to see my truck in person and be like, dang, this dude's truck's clapped out because of this, this, and this, you know what I mean? So, I mean, this truck's never gonna be perfect. This truck's not gonna be perfect anytime soon, at least. Like, realistically, for this truck to be absolutely flawless, it's gonna need a cab, and it's gonna need tore down to the frame, in my eyes at least. This cab, there's nothing wrong with this cab, but like, it's been patched up so many times, realistically in my mind, for it to be perfect, like a perfect build, it would need a new cab. And then I would like to build it from the frame up, which we kind of already have, but it's been so hit or miss. Like we did the rear half of the frame like 2 years ago, and then we did the front half of the frame 2 years ago, and then we did the mid half of the frame a year ago, and then it's like, it's all kind of like, I'd rather just tear everything down to frame and start fresh, like with a perfect build. But if I'm being honest, I would buy a different truck for that. Like this will always probably be like an abused truck that will always kind of get neglected, because I like it that way. It's no fun when you have something that's perfect and you can't beat on it, because you're afraid to hurt it. This thing, yeah, I have a lot of work and time and money in it, and you know, I'm trying to make it as perfect as I can aesthetically, but at the end of the day, if it gets a dent in it or a scratch in it, I'm not gonna be as upset as if I were to have a literally perfect truck with a perfect paint job. So, because like I said, this is gonna be a tow pig. I am gonna use it, and you know, yeah. So we're about to turn the wheel the other way, see if it rubs that way, and after that, that's really it that we can do today, because we'll have to make those custom mounts, and then we will also we'll have to figure out the whole bushing thing. So I'm hoping one of you guys will know. All right guys, I think that's gonna wrap up this video. I know we didn't do a ton, but we did more than we normally do. So I'm just ecstatic with how sick this thing came out. Obviously we still have a lot more to go, and it's only gonna get better from here. So with that being said, guys, I will see you guys in the next video, and be safe and enjoy the rest of your day. Deuces.